Talk.
Talk.
I said talk to me, damn it!
All right. Make you talk.
I said talk to me, damn it, or else I'm gonna throw you in the fire!
You stupid bitch! You filthy slut! Did you fuck with me?
So before I go ahead and get started here, I want to go ahead and reinform all of you guys that if you have a in particular movie that you would like to request for me to review for you guys, go ahead and leave a comment in the section in the bottom and we can have an awesome conversation regarding towards that movie or any movie in general. And I will be more than happy to do a review for you guys if you'd like. So I'm Awesome Joe, and thank you very much for taking in the time of your day to watching another one of my videos of Awesome Joe's playback-to-back movie reviews. And today is based off of one of the requests from a fellow viewer, aka also a fellow friend of mine. He asked of me to go ahead and do the Child's Play, aka the Chucky franchise, and I'm only going to be doing the first 5 movies because the first 5 movies are theatrical releases, and the other 2, The Curse of Chucky and The Cult of Chucky, were both released to a home video. So I did watch those movies, and I can guarantee to you that there will be coming a time later on in the future to where I will be more than happy to do a review off of them. But in the meantime, let's go ahead and first review the first 5 theatrical movies of Child's Play, aka the Chucky franchise. So let's start off with the one that started it all, Child's Play. So this movie was first released back in 1988, and it's directed by Tom Holland. Not that Tom Holland, the one that plays Spider-Man. No, it's going to be a completely different Tom Holland back in the 80s in 1988. And I'm not familiar with his work other than the fact of knowing that he did a terrific film of Child's Play. And it's starring Catherine Hicks. We got Alex Vincent, Chris Sarandon, and of course Brad Dourif playing the voice of both Chucky and playing the character Charles Lee Ray. And this is a very unique and original piece of film that I grew very fond of because the fact that everybody is terrified of dolls. Everybody is terrified of the idea of whether or not that these little figurines are either alive or they're just made off of pretend. And of course, this is a movie back in the day when most horror flicks have been very popular, have been very successful within their work, and this one happens to be one of those. And I actually grew very fond of it. I remember when I was a kid when I watched it, not only did I love it, but I was also deeply terrified by the movie. Nowadays, being grown up now, I can honestly say that I grow more to watching the movies as more of entertainment rather than having to be a little bit... I'll admit I'm still a little bit terrified of the movie, but to be honest with you, it's still a great entertaining movie. I had a lot of fun with it, and I really do love how this original story develops within the movie of wondering whether or not if this doll is really alive, or whether or not if it's the imagination of a child, or if it's the child himself that's committing all these murders. But I really do love the reveal, like how I put at the beginning of this video, as to how we get to see this doll come to life, and the puppeteering to the doll is so exquisite. It's so amazing, and it's so lifelike. It's so amazing. It really does put you into the position of believing this movie and being even more terrified of dolls. So, like for example, on Rotten Tomatoes, they really weren't very highly okay with the film, giving it a 67%. Me per se, I actually enjoyed the film by giving it a great C plus of 76%. It's a great, wonderful movie. I have a lot of fun with it. amongst other movies of the Chucky franchises, this would be by far my most favorite. So, what do you guys think of Child's Play? You can always leave a comment in the section at the bottom, and we can have an awesome conversation regarding towards this movie or any of the movies that I'll be reviewing with you guys this evening. So, let's go ahead and jump on to the next movie here, guys, that I would really love to continue talking to you guys about. Another one of my personal favorites that I completely enjoy having to watch is Child's Play 2. Now, this movie, it was released back in 1990, and they did the franchise transfer from United Artists to Universal Pictures even to this day, so that's the majority of the films that is being produced now. And it's directed by John Lafia. We got Alex Vincent coming back into this, along with Brad Dourif playing the voice of Chucky, and we got Jenny Ogler and Christine Elise. And this movie, it takes place directly after the first film, but it's within production. It took place 2 years prior after the first film. And I actually enjoyed this one a lot more too. You know, it's a lot more. It's dark, but it's also very colorful. And I feel like this movie is a little bit downgrading compared to the first film. And I really find it to be very interesting. There's still some scary moments within the movie. The doll is still completely terrifying. And I really do love the performances of Alex Vincent, the little boy, who happens to do his horrific acting throughout the whole entire film. And he's just an amazing actor, and he's even committed to the franchise still to this day within the last few Chucky films, the ones that I won't be reviewing with you guys today. But otherwise, when it comes to this movie, on Rotten Tomatoes, they gave it a 40%. Compared to the first film, it was 67. This one is at 40%. For me, I liked it a lot more enough to go ahead and give it a 69%. It's still a great film to watch, especially during the Halloween season that's coming up here. But other than that, it's still a great film. Is it great to watch by yourself? Yeah, sure, why not? But it's always great to having to watch it with several other companions to join you with in this movie. So that's my review for Child's Play 2. Let's go ahead and jump on to the next film that is the continuation of the Child's Play franchise. Alright, so let's go ahead and jump on to the next film that I'm not very fond of talking about, so why the hell not? Child's Play 3. So before doing my review, I recently have to watch each individual film in order for me to gain some subconsciousness to my opinions regarding towards each film. And when it comes to this one, I had to watch it twice in order for me to, develop some perspective as to what I actually would think about this movie. Because the first time was god-awfully bad, and then I had to watch it the second time was even worse. I mean, this movie is by far the most terrible Child's Play movie ever within the whole entire Chucky franchise to me, because I honestly didn't like it. The director is Jack Bender, and we got Justin Wallen in this, who's replacing Alex Vincent's character, Andy Barkley. And this movie actually takes 1 year directly after the first film, but yet it has about a 5 to 10 year expansion. So pretty much that kind of takes you out of the film. If you're not familiar with Justin Wallen's character, the actor, he appeared in the Dungeons and Dragons movie, and then he also was in the Lois and Clark New Adventures of Superman, playing Jimmy Olsen. So that's pretty much all that I remember him through. And we also got Perry Reeves in this, who is the romantic relief in this whole entire thing, and it was just terrible. Jeremy Silvers is in this. Then we got Travis Fiennes, and of course we got Brad Dourif reprising his role playing the voice of Chucky. And this one takes place in a military boot camp school, and it was just bad. I don't even know what else to say when it comes to this movie. It is god-awful, and on Rotten Tomatoes, they gave it a 23%. For me, I gave it a 9, only because of the fact that still the Chucky doll itself is still completely terrifying, and it really does, it does have some horrific moments in the movie, but the whole entire film, it really doesn't have any significant importance to even be a film. Other than the fact of getting audiences and fans to go and watching this just to gain a little bit of extra cash. but really the movie is very meaningless. It's very terrible. Like I said, my rating towards it is at a 9, only because of the fact that the Chucky doll is pretty awesomely horrific. So that's my review for Child's Play 3. Now let's pick things up a little bit with the next film that I'm really excited about having to talk with you guys on this video. Now let's pick things up a notch here and talk about something really great to watch. Bride of Chucky. Yes, 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 yes. 1998, this movie was first released and directed by Ronnie Wu. I'm not very familiar with his work, only the fact that his imagination with bringing his type of movies off onto the big screen is highly unrememberable and unimaginative, but the fact that this is actually a really great Chucky film compared to the last film, Child's Play 3. Bride of Chucky is an original movie that is actually based off of the Bride of Frankenstein film. And, you know, not only do we have the resurrection of the Chucky doll coming back to life here, but with also a reimagination of his whole entire image. And I really do love it. It's very much more horrific. It's got a Frankenstein look to it. And including not only just one live killer Chucky doll, but also we have 2 now this time, which is the female doll, and it's played by Jennifer Tilly. We also have in this movie Nick Stable. We got Katherine Heigl, John Ritter, God rest his soul, because he's a really great actor. We also got Alexis Arquette in this movie. Also, it's a great movie. I mean, it's got both entertainment and it's got horror mixed in all together, becoming such a wonderful movie. And I love on how both Brad Dourif and Jennifer Tilly's chemistry is within the movie. Jennifer Tilly happens to be before Brad Dourif's character Charles Lee Ray was killed, that she's actually his girlfriend, and she finds him, recovers him, and resurrects him and comes back to life, and then he kills her and she becomes a doll herself. So I find it very, very interesting and very entertaining, and it's a great movie to watch. But unfortunately on Rotten Tomatoes they gave it a 46%, and it's a great movie. You know, it's one of the best next to the first original Child's Play. And for me, since Rotten Tomatoes gave it a 46, before I saw that rating, I actually gave it a 66% because I really do admire the movie. Only the fact that besides John Ritter's acting within the movie, the majority of the acting in the film is completely terrible. The acting is just god awful. But like I said, I love the chemistry between the two dolls. It's such an entertaining film, and I admire it very well. So if you guys have a different aspect as to what you guys think about Bride of Chucky, go ahead and leave a comment in the section in the bottom, and let's go ahead and jump on to the next film here, you guys. So the last film that I want to review with you guys here today is Seed of Chucky. At the ending of Bride of Chucky, of course, in the middle of the film, the two had a little sex scene, and it was very just weird to watch. And at the ending of the movie, of course, the bride, Jennifer Tilly's doll, was pregnant and gave birth to a child. And I actually thought that was actually going to be the resurrection of Chucky coming back to life, being reborn. But instead, they actually created a new character, not only having just one killer doll, not even 2, but now it's 3 this time. And now they're just this big, doll family. And to be honest with you, I find the movie great, and it's entertaining, but it's also a terrible movie. I like the acting in this, just like Bride of Chucky, is completely terrible. This movie is directed by Don Mancini, and he happens to be the producer throughout the entire franchises. And he had the opportunity to direct this movie, and the way I see it is that he did a terrible job. It is a bad movie. It's right next to Child's Play 3, but a little bit better because, like I said, it is entertaining getting to see these doll-like characters. How they move and how they interact with each other, and then the way they behave is just how any normal human being's life would interact. It's like I said, some of that's kind of entertaining, but it pretty much just takes you out of the idealistics what Chucky is all about. You know, it's supposed to be a horror movie, but yet instead it turned into a rated R comedy, and I don't know, it just took me away from it, and I really do wish that they would stick to the original perspective of this whole entire thing. And we got Jennifer Tilly coming back into this. Not only is she playing the voice of the Bride of Chucky, but she's also playing herself in this movie. And we also got Hannah Spirit, and we got Redman into this also, along with John Waters and Steve Lawton. And I don't know, like I said, this movie is not that good. It's really bad, but it's still great to an entertaining movie to watch. It's not very memorable. There's a lot of bad ideas in this movie, but there's also some really good ones. But they didn't really catch what they were what they were trying to do, and I just really highly think that this movie could have been done better. It could have had more better idealistics, and the way that it was directed was completely terrible. It's just flat out bad, you know. They had something going with the Bride of Chucky, and then they threw it all away when they created this piece of garbage. So Rotten Tomatoes gave it a 32%, and for me, I'd have to agree along that ratings, but with a little bit of a higher rating of giving it a 36%. When it comes to these movies, I really do highly would love to see a remake of this franchise, and I know it would get rid of the whole originality to the first Child's Play movie. A great success. But other than that, that's my review towards the Child's Play Chucky franchise. You guys can always leave your opinions and your comments in the section in the bottom, and we can have an awesome conversation regarding towards these movies. And like I said before at the beginning of the video, if you have a certain request as to any movie that you'd like for me to review for you guys, go ahead and leave that also in the comment section. Let's have an awesome conversation regarding towards that, and a great another great review video. So I'm Awesome Joe, and also don't forget that if you live within the Del Rio, Texas district, go ahead and check out Mr. Stoney Carrillo. He is a DJ at the White Horse Lounge at the Ramada Inn. He does a lot of karaoke on Wednesdays and Thursday evenings from 8 p.m. to 2 a.m. And and not only am I one of the movie critics here in town, I also have another fellow friend of mine who does a great job with what he does with his movie reviews. Mr. Randy Little does an excellent job at what he does. So go ahead and check out those two great performers. They're really great at what they do, and I'm very much looking forward to having to do my next video to whatever it is that I have lined up next. So once again, I'm Awesome Joe, and thank you very much for taking in the time of your day to watching my videos. You guys are a huge inspiration, and as always, stay awesome. Thanks guys, I'll see you on the next video. Bye.